classification. The adjacent property is industrial, that's correct. 200 feet farther, it's all residential. It's the same going south. The next parcel is zoned industrial. Then there's 2 mobile home villages. So the fact that this is an industrial area and appropriate for the area, it holds no weight because it is completely surrounded 1 parcel away or 2 parcels away by residential that'll be impacted by this, by both traffic and the other things we've discussed. You know, 10 or 12 years ago, an attempt was made to site a full-blown transfer station at 3901 North State Street. All the neighbors in the whole area started contributing money and expended over $40,000 trying to convince the county leaders that that kind of stuff was not appropriate to be in that North Forks area. Now, what is it going to take to convince everybody, planning staff, county leaders, and everybody else? Is it going to take another $40,000, $50,000 in lawsuits? This is not the area to put this kind of thing, especially when there are better places to go, like Taylor Road. Mr. Cox pointed out that there's a 10-acre parcel down there the Golden family would be willing to make available, either by sale or long-term lease. The representatives from Ukiah City, they own a 10-acre piece exactly north of the dog pound. Why haven't they stepped up to put all this kind of stuff in one area? It makes business sense, it makes economic sense, it's easy on, easy off from the freeway. It's on the way to the East Bay market that these guys want to haul this recycled stuff to. They don't have to move loose stuff up to North State Street to bale it and then haul it back past the transfer station going to market down south. The other thing I'd like you to consider is that we have made the request, and today's the day, to give us an opportunity to site this thing properly. We're basing it on the conditions not being adequate, and we're still willing to help try to make some of those things happen to get this sited in the right place. We all want an MRF. So we'd like to ask you to vote this particular one down, and let's get it sited in the right location. And then we have expansion capability all the way into the future. Shouldn't be a problem. Thank you.
Okay, the appellant side has 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining. Better run, Jack.
I'm only going to make one comment, and that is something that I overlooked before. I'm concerned. It's Jack Cox.
Yes.
I'm concerned about these rodents and birds. And birds, we're in the vineyard business. We've got several hundred acres of vineyards. Parducci Winery is right next to me. They have vineyards. And one of the worst things for eating up your grapes is rodents and birds. And so with these foodstuffs that could be spilling on their site and so on, it's going to be an attractant for especially birds. If they eat my grapes, I'm going to basically be talking to somebody. Thank you.
Okay. Interesting point, Mr. Cox. So the time is up for the appellant, and now it is time for closing arguments from the applicant. 5 minutes, please.
Bruce McCracken, PRS. I don't want Mr. Cox's grapes to be eaten by birds either. When you're in an enclosed facility, you don't have the bird problems. I remember in the late 90s when we all went through the transfer station issue, and much of the same arguments were made, and almost 8 years later now, we haven't had any of the problems that were assumed at the time because there wasn't a transfer station locally for anyone to understand what it really was. Much is the same with the material recovery facility. With the exception of very few people in this room, no one has ever really seen one or walked in one, especially one that's going to be enclosed. I just want to hit on a couple quick things that I heard during comment. The yard, the old Kirtley yard, it was paved by Rooser. Not all of it, but the Rooser family did pave a good portion of that lot. And it's our intent to do aprons and additional paving so we don't have the dust problems. The dust problem that was talked to by Mr. Thornhill was from the Woodway site, which eventually we would love to enclose. Again, the use of Highway 101 or the roads in mention, that's simply easily done through proper dispatching. And I have no problem doing that. I understand that. Asthma, again enclosed. We will not work nights. I've been in this business for almost 30 years. I'm done working Sundays and I'm done working nights. That's why it's in there. Speed on the roads. If one of my trucks is speeding, call me. Rats, again, at the transfer station where the garbage is, you would assume that there'd be giant rats running everywhere. I dare anyone to find one. Self-haulers, it's not an issue. We do not want them there. We want them to go to the transfer station where it's processed and sent to us here. And that's plain and simple. And to that, I thank you.
Okay, the applicant has 2.5 minutes remaining. You're good, all right? So we'll end those presentations, and I'll take it to staff now for any